Nilichelewa kidogo Mheshimiwa Rais.
Presidente da República do Quênia, sua frente está parada as Forças Armadas de Defesa de Moçambique, composto por oficiais, sargentos e praças, pronto para a vista. Informa o comandante parado, capitão Sebastião Paulo de Almeida. Excelência.
Have the same ravaging effects of climate change. And I want to thank you, Mr. President, for agreeing for us to come and consolidate our position, our thoughts, and our ideas in the Africa Climate Summit that will be held in Nairobi from the 4th to the 6th of next month, as a way of Africa positioning itself, not just as a victim, but also as a place where we can provide solutions, because indeed we believe we have the necessary resources, renewable energy resources, mineral resources, and we have the human capital to provide mechanisms for solutions to climate change, including green growth and mechanisms to decarbonize industrialization and manufacturing globally using the resources we have in this continent. Your Excellency, I look forward to receiving you in Nairobi. As I told you, we would really value your input even ahead of the summit. We are going to share with you the concept notes and the proposed declaration so that we can all consolidate our ideas even as we go to the UN General Assembly, and also to COP28. We have asked the presidency of COP28 to participate in the event in Nairobi so that we can begin to inform the outcome of what is going to be in UAE later this year. The Continental Free Trade Area, which we are both signatories, is consolidating the African market so that we can eliminate barriers, roadblocks, and unnecessary bureaucracy that impede movement of people, movement of goods, movement of services. And with the consolidation of the African continent as one trading bloc, Your Excellency, through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we have the opportunity to grow our economies using both the private sector, people who are business people, and I'm very happy that we have a big business delegation from Kenya who will be interacting with the business community in this country so that they can build synergies and partnerships that will allow trade to continue. Again, let me appreciate, Your Excellency, your undertaking to also conclude the issues around the tripartite free trade area agreement as a further mechanism of consolidating our position as a continent and improving the environment for our people to trade, to do business, to carry out their entrepreneurship. And consequently, I have very high hopes that the Kenya-Mozambique Business Forum that is going to take place here will spark a new trade and investment opportunities and unlock partnerships that would build our economies using the private sector and also leveraging on what we are doing in the public sector. I have agreed, Your Excellency, to expedite the process leading to the launch of the Kenya-Mozambique Joint Trade Committee that will again provide a framework for, on a regular basis, for the assessment of whatever challenges our teams encounter as they pursue opportunities in the business, trade, investment, and entrepreneurship space. Your Excellency, presently in Mozambique, there are, as I said, between 1,000 and 2,000 Kenyans working in the business space, professionals working in international organizations, and people who are living here as family members. I do express a lot of gratitude to you, Mr. President, for allowing these many Kenyans to be part of the Mozambique community. There are not as many as the Makonde in Kenya, but I am sure someday along the road we will be able to improve our relations so that more people from Mozambique can come to Kenya and more people from Kenya can come to Mozambique, and to appreciate, Your Excellency, that our two countries have taken the bold step to abolish visa requirements between our two countries. I know sometimes when we do this, criminals take advantage of that situation, but I'm happy that today we have agreed on how to eliminate the bad people so that we can allow the good people to use the facilities that we are putting in place, including the abolition of visa, to drive trade, to drive investment, for people to move, visit, and drive our economic opportunities. Even as we provide leadership under the AU IGAD framework to resolve the issues in Sudan, because we believe that the conflict in Sudan is completely senseless and unnecessary. And the kind of destruction of life and property and infrastructure is not justified in any way. And the sooner that conflict comes to an end, the better. We are working collaboratively with the JEDA initiative, the IGAD AU framework, and also the neighbors framework under the chairmanship of Egypt, to consolidate all these initiatives. And this morning I spoke to former Prime Minister Hamdok, among the people leading the civilian groups that brings together political parties, civil society groups, women groups, youth groups, together to provide a comprehensive framework on how to resolve issues in Sudan and take the country to civilian rule, democratic civilian rule. And it is the same case, Your Excellency, in Niger. Our collective position is that we support ECOWAS and the interventions that they are putting in place to make sure that we avoid and resist the slide into military dictatorships and unconstitutional removal of governments. Africa is a democratic continent, and we believe that Africa has sufficient democratic credentials to be able to manage the affairs of our countries with the legitimacy that comes from the people in democratic elections. And that is the only change of government through democratic elections that guarantees the aspirations of not just our individual countries, but the collective will of the people of this continent. And whatever means necessary that should be used to make sure that these democratic processes are sustained and maintained and protected should be brought to bear to stop those who want to use the barrel of the gun to run the affairs of countries or to manage the issues of our continent.
We've just had bilateral conversations in which we talked about many topics. But first, we validated our professionals on what they did in the past, particularly the decisions by the Joint Permanent Commission and the Second Commission. We have noted that our diplomatic relations and economic relations now are undergoing a very good stage. The outcomes are notable day by day, and as a country, we reiterate our commitment and interest to continue working with the government of the Republic of Kenya, which is wisely led by His Excellency President Ruto, so that we strengthen the relations between the two countries. And this enables the meeting between our two people, particularly in the economic sector. In defense and security, we talked not only in bilateral conversations, but also in the tete-a-tete on the situation of terrorism in Mozambique, how it manifests itself, at what stage it is. We have been receiving support over the years in training and exchange of information so that we can fight terrorism, because Kenya knows this evil, even though it manifests itself in different ways in the two countries. We are happy with the support we are given, but we also took the opportunity to define the next steps to be followed in this struggle. And I believe in the coming day, this will lead to better outcomes. There are other aspects we talked about, and tomorrow we'll be able to detail these and the economic and social area. But we talked more on agriculture, cattle raising, trade, transport, mineral resources, and in the area of the technicians who have to support the conservation areas, because we know for it. So we commend the President for this visit, and we know this is an opportunity to deepen our relations, and we express our permanent wish to and willingness to deepen this relation. We talked about aspects of our interests, such as cooperation in the bank. The Kenyan banking system has evolved, is being implemented everywhere in the continent, and Mozambique expressed its interest in training its people in tourism. And the Republic of Kenya is also an international reference in this matter. By the way, many hotels working in Maputo have Kenyans as their managers. The second session of the Joint Permanent Commission worked in 4 groups. The group of policy and diplomacy, defense and security, economy, and also social affairs. The conclusions are favorable to growth, and by the way, we commend one of the outcomes is what we've seen, which is the signature of legal instruments in different areas, as we have just witnessed. We applaud the understandings we have reached in the mutual support in the application of the two countries. I have to say that we are grateful to Kenya because we were voted on, and not only that, because Kenya mobilized other countries so that we could become non-permanent members of the UN Security Council. To join Her Excellency Veronica Makamu, Minister for Foreign Affairs and Cooperation for the Republic of Mozambique. And proceeding with the ceremony of the agreement of cooperation on defense matters, I invite His Excellency Aden Barry Duale, Minister of Defense of the Republic of Kenya, to join Her Excellency Veronica Nathaniel Makamundovu, Minister for Foreign Affairs and Cooperation in the Republic of Mozambique. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies.